Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bullony Basketball, Season 4, Episode 2, with my man, HEENDOO, today. How's it going, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thank you for having me on once again. We're gonna have a good time today, so I'm feeling very welcome.
Yeah, and you're definitely welcome with that background in the back.
Yeah.
You were adjusting it beforehand, but I like that. So we got a little bit to talk about today. We'll start off with like the opening night games. We're recording this on Wednesday. This is most likely, unless something crazy happens, it's gonna go up the Thursday, so tomorrow. But we're gonna talk about the opening night games that we've seen so far. I think we'll start off with the Sixers Celtics game recap. I mean, for the most part, it was kind of back and forth. I think the Sixers had like a little bit of an early lead, and then the Celtics kind of took over not too long after, and they kind of just ran away with it. There was a little scuffle with Embiid and Marcus Smart, but overall, like, what did you make of the game? What did you see from both teams? What were your thoughts?
Like the biggest key takeaway, I think everyone like on Twitter, just anyone who watched the game really knows, James Harden looked completely different than what he looked like last year.
Mm-hmm.
There was not a single game last year that I remember. I don't watch too many 76ers games, but I haven't seen that aggressive Harden since he was in Houston. And last night was just a testament to if the guy's out there, he's going hard, he's looking to score. He makes the team better, and it was pretty good throughout the first quarter. Like you said, they were back and forth. But then in that second quarter, it looked more like the Celtics were dominating them. But the Celtics, I mean, it looks like they're missing Robert Williams, so they definitely need him out there. He's one of the only guys in the league who I think can slow down Joel Embiid, but Embiid didn't have too much of a good game last night. I wish we saw a lot more Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid pick and rolls. That's something that was kind of getting on my nerves. It seemed like Doc Rivers didn't really want to run that, but it's something they definitely should have done. And I know a lot of people watching would probably agree with me. But the Celtics, they looked amazing towards the second half, like towards the end of the second half. They couldn't miss. They were making every single shot. It looked like they were unstoppable, at the TD Garden. Fans were cheering. First game to open up the season. Couldn't have gone any better for the Boston Celtics, especially missing out with Robert Williams on the bench.
Yeah, I even our guy Romp was saying that too. Like they need to get more Maxi and Embiid pick and rolls and stuff like that. They were
Yeah,
kind of doing it a little bit. I think like mid third quarter, and it was working. They were just kind of missing a little bit of open shots, but I mean that's the most successful way that the Sixers are going to go anywhere. It's not going to be based on Harden isolating and
yeah,
relying on. I mean, what did he draw? Like either three or four fouls on 3-point attempts. Like, okay, that's not going to happen majority of the time. But I mean, I
yeah,
gotta give
100%.
Harden credit, like you said. The first I mean, you even saw when I like tweeted it. It was like 5 minutes after the game. I'm like, you can't even tell Harden's out there because he looked very like passive. He's like, I don't care, whatever. And I'm like, is this gonna be like that same Harden? Like he's not gonna show us what he's capable of. And then the
Yeah,
next 12, 13 minutes, he kind of just took over. And maybe he kind of tried to do a little too much in the second half, but I think in the first half, like just the way he was moving, like you can kind of tell that he's in better shape. Like this is probably the best shape he's been in since he won MVP, and like 4 or 5 years ago. Um, but I don't know. I think that the Sixers, their bench was a little disappointing. I feel like they could have used them more like Melton and Harrell. I feel like they could have a good two-man game off the bench as well, but they didn't really like use them hardly. The Celtics bench was probably a little bit more impressive. Brogdon, I think he's going to be a six-man of the year candidate for the season. I've always been high on him. Grant Williams looked like the Grant Williams during and before that big game against Milwaukee in the playoffs last year, because after that he kind of
yeah,
like fizzled out and like, you know what I mean? So, I mean,
yeah.
the Celtics, they didn't look like they missed a beat without Udoka, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can, keep this up. I believe I may be wrong. I think they play Miami next, but I know they have a few tougher games coming up, so it's going to be interesting. And then the Sixers, I'm not worried about them really. I just think, like you said, they got to get Maxey a little bit more looks, and maybe Embiid could start off the game more aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, Brogdon, he's definitely going to be big off the bench for them. He's definitely going to be a game changer. I mean, we saw what he was doing with the mid-tier Pacers, and with the great coaching the Celtics have, a lot more pieces around him off the bench. It's going to be a dangerous season, like you said. Yeah, I definitely think he's going to be up there, probably a top three candidate for that Six Man of the Year award.
And I wasn't too sure if he'd come off the bench. I know they mentioned it with Udoka, but obviously new coach, like so close to the season, like wasn't sure if he'd end up like changing things up and starting him. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think I picked Norman Powell as my Sixth Man of the Year. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Brogdon ended up taking that award because you could argue he's maybe the best player coming off the bench in basketball right now. Um, but yeah, I don't know if you wanted to move on here, like to the Laker Warrior game. I feel like
Yeah, let's go ahead.
that one's probably a little bit more spicy. Um,
Yeah.
just because, well, yeah, I mean, really, it shouldn't be too spicy considering the fact that I feel like no one's surprised by what happened. I mean, the Warriors are defending champions. They're one of the best teams in the league once again this year, and the Lakers are just awful. You know what I mean? And as a result, they got blown out.
Yeah.
Um, like LeBron, I felt like LeBron really did not play that good. And I felt like he was kind of, I hate to say it because any LeBron fans watching are gonna get upset, but kind of stat padding there at the end. AD looked good early on, but he kind of fizzled out like I think midway through the second quarter and beyond. And then Westbrook really didn't play too bad, other than maybe like the turnovers and just like the demoralizing like shots, like the air balls or whatever. That's
Yeah.
something that's always happened with Westbrook though, and I mean the Warriors, they look like a great team once again. We're gonna talk about Draymond and Poole in a second here, but I guess for the game, like what did you see? What did you make of the game?
Well, the Warriors played amazing. I mean, they're at home, it's a big night for them. They got the ring ceremony going on. They have all the confidence in the world coming into that game. The Lakers, they don't have too good of a bench, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people, especially on Twitter, they're like, Lakers are definitely going to be a top three, top five seed. I don't agree with that personally. My hot take after seeing last night's game, LeBron's a lot older. I think father time has finally caught up to him. And it's Anthony Davis's team now, but Anthony Davis, if he's going to have someone else with him, to complete the big three, I don't think Westbrook's going to be that guy. Westbrook just doesn't fit into the system Darvin Ham has. Like you said, LeBron, yeah, he did stat pad towards the end of the game. That's what I personally think. And I mean, it could have gone a lot worse for the Lakers if Jordan Poole played a lot better scoring wise off the bench. It would have been way worse for them. Draymond had a decent game. Wiggins played amazing. Wiggins is one of the guys as a Timberwolves fan, I didn't really, when he got traded, I didn't really like watching his game. But last night, the guy, especially in that fourth quarter, he was hitting some killer daggers. He was putting the Lakers 6 feet into the ground. But I think like another big thing, if Patrick Beverly's out there taking a good amount of 3-point shots like he's Steph Curry, man, I don't think this Lakers team is going to go anywhere. I mean, you got Kendrick Nunn, who we didn't see last season. He looked pretty good out there. I like watching Reeves. He didn't have too big of a game. And then, Juan Toscano Anderson, like coming off the bench for you. The guy's not doing anything. Lakers need a bigger bench. I think they definitely got to trade for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield because this bench is just not going to cut it, especially with how deep the West is this year. It's not going to cut it, man.
Well, and the thing is harder too is that like teams have already established themselves now. Like I feel like everyone, this is why like the Westbrook trade talks kind of like simmered down is because like now we're getting into the season. Like everyone already knows what they want to do. So that trade for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, it's probably not going to look the same, even if it's
Yeah.
offered like right now. Like why would they want to take Westbrook for half a year, like just to get that done to help out the Lakers? They probably
Yeah.
wouldn't want to. It just seems like the Lakers are in a bad place. Outside their big three, and I mean, I guess Patrick Beverly to an extent, Kendrick Nunn to an
Yeah.
extent. Like they're just really not a good team. Like to put it simply, you kind of hit it right on the nail saying that. Like their jump shooting is worse. The thing that made them so great a few years ago is that like they dominated inside, but they also had the size, they had the defense, and they had people that were like they were a capable 3-point shooting team. I'll say that. Because
Yeah.
I think they were like 11th or 12th in the league that year. They weren't great, but they were good enough. And right now they're awful at 3-point shooting. I mean, LeBron said that the other day, like when they asked him about it. Uh, they're awful defensively. They literally have the same team like last year. They had old guys that couldn't shoot and couldn't defend. Okay, now you got young guys that can't shoot and can't defend. Like they're just the same team. They're just younger. I'll give them that. They're younger, maybe more athletic to some extent, but it's just not gonna work. Like it's I don't know how. I mean, this season is basically just gonna boil down to, and I know we were talking about like LeBron like getting his stats, but it's gonna boil down to like him chasing Kareem. That's gonna be probably the only highlight or one of the only highlights for the Lakers this whole year, is him achieving that milestone. Outside of that, I mean maybe AD. I mean AD, I would say has looked a little bit better than he has like in preseason and the game the other night than he has last year. It's just a matter of, is he gonna stay healthy? Too. I know he had a goal like, let's play all 82 games. Well, he missed 2 of the games in preseason with injury, and he was questionable, I believe, for opening night. So these are like the questions for the Lakers, and I totally agree with you. I wouldn't even consider putting him close to a top 5 seed or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, they replaced Malik Monk with Lonnie Walker. I mean, I like his game. I definitely think he can average like 13, 14 starting for the Lakers, but how far is that going to get you? You're mainly going to rely on how far Westbrook, AD, and LeBron can get you. And, Father Time's catching up to LeBron. We don't know how much longer he can run at this level for before being out for load management. Anthony Davis isn't too healthy himself. Last night I believe he had a little fall. I don't know if you remember that, or it might just be my memory going bad. But
he did.
I know the commentators were talking about that. They're like, Lakers fans don't want to see that because you never know when this guy's going to get injured again. And if let's say LeBron's out, Anthony Davis is out, what's Russell Westbrook going to do for you? I mean, I feel like he'll go out there and he can put up a triple double, but will that result in winning, especially with how deep a lot of the teams are this season? There's teams like my Timberwolves. I believe they're like a top 5 most deepest team in the league. They got some guys off the bench who I think are going to have some pretty good seasons. And then there's a lot of teams in the East as well who are underrated. Yeah, I just don't see this Lakers team going anywhere. And last night was a testament to just how good Golden State is, and it was not a good game for the Lakers at all. Not a good statement.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Warriors are like in a completely different stratosphere from the Lakers.
Yeah.
But I mean, touching on Westbrook, and I know like everyone wants to put all the blame on Westbrook, which I feel like there's personally no point. Like they're at a point of no return, like for the Lakers, where you can't get rid of Westbrook, and at the same time, like I don't know how much better they would get, like just by getting rid of him. Like getting him off the roster, maybe like toxic energy or just doesn't fit or something like that. Like these are the things that people have said. Like I don't even know if that would really help him out just because of their injury history. They have no depth. Again, no defense, no shooting. But I guess like just to transition to Westbrook specifically, like what do you think is gonna, I guess, happen with him over maybe the next few weeks, few months, and like, do you think, I know they tried it the last preseason game, they didn't try it the other day, but do you think maybe bringing him off the bench is the move, and like at least right now, that they should take?
I mean, I personally, this is probably going to be a hot take, but I think Kendrick Nunn definitely fits a lot better than Westbrook does with that starting lineup, especially spacing wise. I mean, we saw what Nunn could do when he was healthy in Miami. The guy could come off the bench, get you some buckets, shoot some threes, play make a little bit. He could complement LeBron and Anthony Davis perfectly. We know what Patrick Beverley's about. We saw him last year with the Timberwolves. The guy's not too great of a playmaker. He's a pretty good defender, but you need a true point guard around LeBron James. You need someone who can actually spot up. And last night we saw Pat Bev's not that guy. I think, yeah, like you said, I think Westbrook probably would fit a lot better with the bench, but it's going to really come down to, is he going to want to come off the bench? I believe a couple of years ago, I don't know if you remember, I swear they told him he was going to come off the bench and he was like, who, me? And he wasn't really with it coming off the bench, but he's a little older now. It's just going to come down to him and his confidence and his, like how he wants people to perceive him. Is he really going to want to come off the bench, or is he going to become a little toxic about it? And it's just going to bring down the Lakers a lot more. But like you said, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Westbrook's going to be on the Lakers for throughout the whole season. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I mean, who's going to want him, especially the way he's been. Well, he hasn't been playing too bad, but I don't think he really fits with many other teams in the league. So I don't know. I just feel like Kendrick Nunn would be a better fit to start off with the Lakers, especially this next game they go on to play.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, it's not just like that the Lakers are, like looking. It's not just that the Lakers have their eyes on him in terms of like, okay, we need you here. Like Darvin Ham called it a realignment, whatever. Like, we need you in this position. We need you on the bench, whatever. But every team is watching because they need to know if this guy is willing to like, I guess put his ego aside that the media has, made out to be like,
Yeah.
he has an ego, like he's not going to be able to like take sacrifices and come off the bench. He's got to play his way every time. Like if he's unwilling to do that, like he might have a situation that's very Allen Iverson like. You know how at the end of his career, like he was kind of unwilling to sacrifice in some way, and he kind of fizzled out of the NBA, even though he was arguably still better than a majority of NBA players. That's just how it went. I mean, same thing might happen with Westbrook after this year. I mean, nobody's going to want to take that contract unless like they're literally going all the way in. I mean, even then, I don't even know if they would if they're going all the way in for Wembanyama, because Westbrook on his own team is going to be good enough to probably not necessarily compete, but he'll probably keep you away from like the top 3, 4, 5 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
But that's what I meant, like when it's like there's no point of return and there's like no fixing really this thing without like a complete overhaul of the whole Lakers roster, and they don't want to do that. Like no, I don't think any team ever wants to do that. I mean I'm with you. I think that he'll most likely be on the Lakers for the whole year, but I think a few people have said like as the season goes on, his minutes are going to get lower and lower and lower. And there's probably going to come to a point where he gets the same treatment that John Wall got last year with Houston, where they're like, all right, just go home. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we don't want you out here.
That's probably what's going to happen. Unless the only reason maybe they wouldn't is if the Lakers are already like so far below that there's like no point. Like they're already like 12th, 13th in the West, which I don't even think they'll be that low. I mean, we're bashing the Lakers, I feel like a lot here, but I don't even think they'll be like 13th in the West. That would be insane. But if they were that low, then I could see them just being like, all right, just play it out, and then like you'll walk in the summer.
Yeah, I mean Rob Pelinka, like I've seen on Twitter, a lot of people are blaming him. 100% of the blame's on him. If you were going to do something with Westbrook and you didn't feel 100% confident coming into the season with the team you have, why did you keep this guy around? You could have done something in the summer. I mean, you could have got some younger guys, some shooting around LeBron. That would have definitely complimented him a lot more. Like Pat Bev and Kendrick Nunn are 2 point guards that you can definitely run out there instead of Westbrook. We don't know who they would have got for Westbrook if they got rid of him. But, I mean, in my opinion, it's all Rob Pelinka's fault. The guy didn't want to do anything with Westbrook. So I guess the Lakers got to deal with it now and hopefully play it out and just see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's their problem, not ours, not mine. But yeah, we could talk, I guess, a little bit about the Draymond Jordan Poole beef. I know it happened a few weeks ago now, but obviously it's still getting mentioned. Like literally on TNT the other day, they had like a whole special with Draymond like apologizing, like leading up to the incident. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I saw that.
I thought that was kind of funny. Like it was almost like a documentary about like getting slapped or punched or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, it seems ridiculous, but I guess like just a question. Obviously, from last night, of course, it was the Lakers, but it didn't really show any signs of it. But like, do you think maybe this could end up tearing apart the Warriors in any way? And I guess a follow-up question would be, they just gave Poole and Wiggins an extension. So how do you think that affects Draymond, as the summer comes along and maybe could potentially be making his way out of Golden State? Like, is that the writing on the wall? What do you think?
Well, personally, like one big thing I've hooped before, like clearly not at an NBA level, but I think something a lot of hoopers know is like, you don't punch your teammates. There's no reason to punch your teammates. especially like the way the Warriors are constructed. They're building from the ground up. They're using all these draft picks. They're home growing a lot of these guys. And for one of your biggest veterans to go out there and sucker punch one of your upcoming rising stars in Jordan Poole, it definitely wasn't a good look at all. Everyone was making all the memes about Draymond. Last night he was wearing the green suit and someone put Jordan Poole's face all over it. But I don't know. I feel like Draymond's not gonna. Well, I don't know about the financial numbers. I don't know if you know about this. Like, they're deep into the luxury tax, as far as I know. And how long can they keep this up? And how long is this team going to be good? You got Moody, you got Poole, you got Kuminga, you got Wiseman. These guys are coming off your bench as a unit, and they're looking pretty good. So where does Draymond fit in this system the next like year and a half? I don't know. I feel like Kuminga's definitely going to take over Draymond's role. Draymond's becoming more of a mentor, especially like he's like a 6'5" guy playing power forward. How long can this guy stay out there and be physical with people? And are the Warriors going to be willing to pay this guy a hefty bag? Or is he going to be willing to take a pay cut and stay with this Warriors team? But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think this is going to affect the Warriors. There's a lot of leadership in that locker room. Clay, Steph, I think these guys know they're not going to break this team apart unless Draymond ends up wanting to go somewhere else or he demands a trade, which I highly doubt. He's played for only the Warriors. Michigan State went to the Warriors and he grew up there, just worked on his career and, became, I don't know how to explain it, like a legacy player. Like when you think of Draymond, all you think about is, Golden State. You think about all the championships he's won. I think the Warriors are going to ride out with him. Hopefully he wants to take a pay cut. I don't think Jordan Poole, he said Jordan's his guy. I don't think there's going to be a blow up of this team. I think they're going to stick together. It just all depends on what happens with Draymond. Like you said, those big contract extensions Wiggins and Jordan Poole got. There's a couple other guys I forgot on the team besides Draymond that are coming up. What are you going to do with those guys? That's definitely going to affect what happens with Draymond. But as far as I'm concerned, I think the Warriors are good. They've got to work out their problems, at practice, talk to each other, just make sure Draymond's not doesn't get too big of an ego, and just make sure it doesn't happen ever again, because if it happens again, then for sure I think Draymond's off the team. But I'm just hoping that doesn't happen because I'm a biased Draymond fan. I got a Draymond picture literally right next to the wall right here, so I'm just hoping Draymond ends up staying with the Warriors. I love watching him on the Warriors.
Yeah, I just feel like it's hard to in this day, especially with like, how crazy they are over the luxury tax. I just feel like it's really hard in this day. Like, not a lot of people can do, I guess, like what the Spurs did, like with Duncan and Ginobili and Parker, and even Parker left like to go to Charlotte for a year. But my point is like, basically playing your entire career with one team and to do that with three guys. Curry, he's going to have all the power. If he ever wanted to leave, that would be totally in his power, which, there's no indication that he ever would. But, he's going to stay. Obviously, I think they trust Clay enough. They paid him the max after he tore his ACL. So I feel like that's a lot of trust right there. But obviously with Draymond, it's like, they probably don't have that same trust level with it that I wouldn't be surprised if. It's not going to really detriment like their season. Like I think they're still going to be fine. They're still going to be a great team. I don't think like that internal like incident with that beef with him and Poole is going to like ruin anything. But I would not be surprised if their actions of like extending Poole and extending Wiggins and stuff, like if that comes in turn like to affect Draymond and like where he goes when he's a free agent. I could see it being something like I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was Rondo when he was on the Pelicans or something. I might be wrong, but the point is like I think it was someone that year. They gave him like a 5 or 10 minute window to like basically take the offer before they like pulled it away or something like that. Like the Warriors aren't going to do that, but I feel like they're basically going to give Draymond an offer. And they're probably going to stick to that offer because how far can they go into paying their players like this much? Like you got Poole, you got Wiggins to worry about. Then you also got Curry, who's a max player. Clay's a max player, okay? What about Kuminga? Like, what about Moody? If like these guys level up with James Wiseman, like it's just gonna be too hard to keep everybody. And I think Draymond's the veteran on the team. That's, too early to tell, I guess, off the injury for Clay, and obviously Curry's still elite, but Draymond's probably that veteran that's like, he's showing decline a little bit from his days like maybe 5 or so years ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up leading to Draymond being on a new team next year. I don't think it would be like anything like personal, like he would hate the organization for that afterwards, but maybe something like I guess like a Dwayne Wade, Miami. He like when he left to go to Chicago, like maybe something like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, like I fully agree with you. I feel like the Warriors got to watch like how Moody and Wiseman, all these guys develop throughout the season, because what's the point in paying Draymond after this big terrible headline about him? It's bringing some negativity to the team. If you can pay a lot of other guys a lot less to do what he does or do what he does even better, like Wiseman or JaMychal Green. JaMychal Green does he has some similarities with Draymond. And what's that guy's contract on? Like maybe like $5 million, $3 million, You could anyone. I feel like with the power the Warriors have, the Warriors can definitely get a pretty good power forward to fill Draymond's role,
Mm-hmm.
and you wouldn't have to pay him too much. And Draymond's going to probably ask for a good amount of money because he knows he can definitely go somewhere else and they'll overpay him, especially. I mean, he's a little older, so I mean, it's just going to depend on how the Warriors players, end up playing out. If Moody's coming off the bench getting buckets, you got Poole, who already got his extension. You got Wiseman. We don't know what Wiseman's going to do throughout an 82-game season.
Right.
He looked pretty good last night, and I think he's just going to get better. So I think it's going to depend on that in the end. But I hope the Warriors don't end up overpaying Draymond after this season to, go even deeper into that luxury tax. Because I don't think there's a need for it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of pieces. I mean, we'll see. I guess when the summer comes around, I mean that's when it's going to get really spicy. But I mean, we could talk about Charles Barkley and his recent news, signing a 10-year, $200 million deal. With NBA on TNT. A lot of people thought he was going to leave. I think after this year, because I know he said that he didn't want to work past 60 and he wanted to retire at age 60, but it turns out he's still going to be there. What do you think of the news? What are your thoughts?
I mean, he's on the brink of 61. You're giving him a 10-year contract, and he still has, I believe, it's either 2 or 3 years on the contract he has right now. So he's still got to, play that out. And then you got the 10 years, I believe, starts after that. He's going to be, at the end of it, if he fulfills the whole contract, he's going to be 73. We don't know where broadcasting and analysts are going to be in the next, 3 to 4 years. There's a lot of people, especially like YouTubers, that I feel like they're going to be on the come up. And I feel like in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see a lot of big companies like House of Highlights, ESPN, TNT. We're going to see even like betting companies like FanDuel and all these companies start bringing analysts, starting up more shows for the media, creating a lot more content. I don't know. I personally, like you said, I believe it was up to $200 million if he completes the whole 10-year contract. It's going to be a hot take. I might get some hate in the comments for this, but well, he's a funny guy. I love watching Charles Barkley. Who doesn't love watching Charles Barkley, especially on those Capital One commercials? I just don't think you should have gave the guy a 10-year contract, because you never know what could happen in someone's life. Literally, like, you're not guaranteed a next day in your life, and you don't know where he's going to be in a couple of years. What if he's like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore? You probably got to pay him still a hefty bag. There's probably some clause in there that he's guaranteed a good amount of money, regardless if he plays out the whole contract. But the way I see it with content creation and analyst in the future of the game, I don't think it was worth paying the guy that much. That's just me.
Yeah, I think actually I hadn't even thought about that, but that's kind of a good point. Like you don't know like where the state of things are going to be like in 10 years from now. Like, I mean, it all runs through cable television, and who knows, like 10 years from now, like, is that going to be ideal, like, for people watching, or is it going to be like streaming services more so, or like maybe there's something else like with the internet? Like, I don't even know. Who knows? Maybe we could be like in a studio.
Yeah, the SMH and HEENDOO show in like 5 years on TNT. We don't know. It's just got to play itself out, you know.
I'd
Like you
watch it.
said, yeah, I'd definitely watch. I feel like a lot of people would watch us have a show, especially with some high quality equipment. But like you said, yeah, we don't know where the state of content creation, analyst, and just any type of basketball content's going to be. And even the next year, you know, cable's outdated. I don't have cable. I just moved to Arizona. None of them, like, I know a couple people in the building. Nobody has cable, you know, everyone's streaming stuff. And it's just, I don't know, man. I don't think it was worth it to give this guy that much money, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess props to him. He got his money. And it is good to at least see him there for longer than like a year or 2 more years. I can't remember like the time it was supposed to be, but you know, if it was only 1 or 2 more years, like I probably would be a little upset because I don't think things are gonna change that quickly. But maybe like 7, 8 years from now, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I don't know if you want to hop into our game here to close out the show.
Let's do it.
So
Let's do it.
last season, I had, NBA trivia. I would look up hints and stuff like that for everyone. Doing a lot of, research, trying to find the spicy questions. I've said spicy too many times in this episode, but trying to find the right questions. This time, I said, you know what? I'm not going to work as hard. So how we're going to do it is it's a 20 questions NBA edition game. So HEENDOO over here is going to ask me up to 20 questions. He can guess once after every single hint or every single question he asks me. They all have to be yes or no questions, by the way. And it could be a current player, a former player, current team, former team, current coach, former coach, something with the NBA. And he'll have to ask me, obviously, in those questions to figure it out. But if he guesses it right after his first question, he'll get 20 points. The second question, 19 points. The third question, 18 points. And he basically goes from there. If he gets it wrong, ultimately he'll get 0 points, or if he just decides to give up. But yeah, I'll keep track of how many points you get. I'm sure it'll still be a little confusing because it's the first one. But are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, so the first question, and I guess, well, I won't say that. So the first person, or thing, or person, team, whatever. So you can ask me questions right now. It has to be a yes or no question, each one, and then you're free to guess after every question just once.
So it could be a player or a team.
Yes.
It's one of the two?
Yeah,
Right.
it could be that, or a coach or something. I'm not counting that in your question, of course.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right. Is this thing in the Eastern Conference?
No.
Is this thing a coach?
No.
Is this thing a player?
Yes.
Has this player played in the NBA in the last 3 seasons?
Yes.
Did this player play in the playoffs last season?
No. You've used 5 so far. So if you guess now and get it right, that'll give you 16 points. Or you could keep guessing like more hints.
Is this player on the Sacramento Kings?
No.
Dang, I gotta get better, a lot better with these questions. All right. I feel like since you got me on the show, I feel like this player on the Minnesota Timberwolves?
No. And I will say too, so that's 7 questions you've used. If you guess a player, if you guess a specific player, that doesn't count toward your guesses. Or if you guess a specific coach or team, But for this one, you already know it's a player, so yeah.
Gotcha. Is this player currently active in the NBA?
Yes.
All right, this next question is definitely going to help me. Is this player still currently on the same team he was on last year?
No.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Played in the West a little bit ago. He's still in the league, and he still plays. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and guess Juan Toscano Anderson.
It is not Juan Toscano Anderson. So far you've used 9 questions, so you have 11 more potential ones before you're out of chances.
All right, so just to track back a little, he's currently. I ask this already? I don't remember. Western Conference right now, or no?
You asked if he was in the
I
East,
forgot if I asked it.
and I said no, so that means he's
Oh,
in the
okay.
West.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and guess Dante DiVincenzo.
Well, so you just guessed Juan Toscano Anderson. So you have to either add another, like, take another question
okay.
first. Then you can guess.
Okay.
So you're still at 9 right now.
Is this player taller than 6'4"?
No.
Okay. Small guy. Small guy. Let me think. Dang, man, you're really stumping me on this one. You know how many players there are? This is getting tough. Let me think for a second.
In the West, new team, under 6'4", or
under 6.
Could be exactly 6'4" too, but he's just not taller than 6'4".
Let me think. I'm really trying hard here to think, man. Player, new team, West. He's pretty short. Has to be a guard for sure, so. Who is this player? I feel like I just got a gut feeling this is the right answer. Is this player Malik Monk?
It is not Malik Monk. So
man.
You can guess another hint before you can guess again, like a player.
All right. Let me think. Does this player play for a team in California?
Yes.
John Wall.
It is John Wall. Yes. Okay.
I knew it.
That's pretty good. So that took 11. So my math is right. It's 2019. So you got 10 points for that. That's pretty good. Maximum score is 60. So getting 10 points, that's not bad. Okay. But yeah. All right. So you ready for the second one?
Let's go.
All right. So you can ask away.
All right. Is this a player?
It is a player.
Is this player currently active playing in the NBA?
He is not currently active or currently playing in the NBA.
Is this player mainly considered a point guard?
No.
Is this player a center?
No.
Has this player played in the league in the last 5 seasons?
You said in the last 5 seasons?
Yeah, last 5.
Yes. Define. Okay, hold on a second. So define. So when you say last 5 seasons, do you mean like the last season of that is 2017-18 or 2018-19?
We'll say 2017-18.
Okay, then yes.
Okay.
Guess that kind of gives away when he was done.
Oh, okay.
But that
All
was
right.
that was a good question to ask, though. It stumped me.
There's a lot of players that I got to think back real hard now. Um, all right. I was gonna ask a question, but I feel like I shouldn't ask it. All right. Let me think. Jeez, man. I'm trying to think of a good question. I'm not trying to waste the questions, you know?
Hmm.
Um, is this player a small forward?
He is not a small forward.
Okay. Is this player a power forward?
He is a power forward.
Okay, all right. We're getting closer. Power forward, all right, 2017. Who stopped playing that year? Was this player's last team in the Western Conference?
It was. Yes.
All right, let me think. Western Conference teams, 2017, 2018. Let me think, man. Jeez. I'm just trying not to waste these questions, and I'm trying to think of players in my head. Trying to think of power forwards. All right. Let me think. Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't play there. Yes, he still plays. Okay. Um, Let me think. Does this player have an NBA championship ring?
No.
Okay. Okay. Um, who's in the West? Okay. Yeah, I'm not even gonna guess this one because he's not in the Western Conference, so that wouldn't even make sense. Power forward 17, 18. Who played back in the day? All right. Um, no, this guy has a ring. I was gonna guess Big Baby, but I don't think that was 17, 18. Not at all. And he has a ring, I believe, so can't be him. Um, Let me think. God, man, you really got me on this one. I'm trying not to waste these questions real bad, so I'm taking up a lot of time here.
Take your time.
Ooh, Did this player last play for a team in California?
Yes.
All right, all right, all right. All right, he's not a power forward. He's a center. Okay. Who power forward West played for a California team? Um, he doesn't play anymore. Okay. So that rules out a good amount of players. Admin. Oh, I got one. Has this player ever been sponsored by Jordan brand?
Um, that's a good question. I need to look that up.
I'm getting you with the questions.
Yeah, you are. Let's see.
This is my game now.
So I mean, Jordan and Nike brand, I mean, they're kind of like hand in hand. So I will say yes to that.
One in the,
So yeah.
ooh, okay. Okay. Does this player still play professional basketball currently?
No.
Somewhere, just somewhere.
No.
No? Okay.
So you've used 12 so far. So if you
Yeah, I
guess,
gotta start guessing here real soon.
you guess right now, you can get 9 points.
Jeez, man, you really, God, who is a power forward playing?
Po-
He still plays.
Power forward,
Um,
last played in the West.
man, I'm really trying to think of players that I have not seen hoop in a minute. I'm just trying to think of NBA 2K, my team right now, honestly. I'm trying to think who was a power forward that year on a California team. This definitely cuts it down to a lot of people, but do I know the 45 players that played for California teams that year? Oh man, wait.
You mean
Wait,
60?
no, there's four. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's four teams. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
60
four
players. Yeah.
teams, so 60 it'd be.
Oh man, that makes this a lot harder. He didn't play that year. I'm gonna take a guess. Is this player Ryan Kelly from the Lakers?
It is
I
not.
don't know if that was
It is not
17
Ryan
routine.
Kelly. Um, you can also ask me questions regarding like how good or bad the player was too. Um,
Um, was this player a starter in his or in the last season he played?
a starter in the last season. Uh, yeah, I would say so. I mean, he started all but 2 games. He played about 59 games, so I would say yeah.
I have a player in mind, but I swear I don't recall him playing in California. Maybe he played for the Kings. I might as well guess it. Is it Jared Sullinger? I don't think he played on the West, did he?
It is
Is
not.
it Sullinger?
It is not Jared Sullinger.
Oh my God, dude.
You got 7 more questions you can ask before you're finished.
Oh my goodness. Did this player last play for the Sacramento Kings?
Yes.
Sacramento Kings 2017, 2018. Got my
Mm-hmm.
hands here. I'm trying to think. I'm really trying to think off the dome. Oh man, bro. You know, the Kings were terrible back then, so like who was playing on that team?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not Boogie because Boogie played like last. Oh my God, bro. I'm really trying to think hard here on who was. I'm gonna guess this player because I think he started on the mediocre Kings, but I don't know if the years are off. But I'm just gonna guess it. Is it? Are you thinking about Costa Kufis?
It is not Costa Kufis.
Oh my God, bro.
You got 6 more that you can ask.
All right. I don't know, bro. If this question is a little too bad, no, I'm not even gonna ask this one either. All right. Does this player did or in his last season did this player have a head of hair? Did he have hair on his head?
Um, hmm. I would say, okay, the fact that I'm debating this, he maybe barely had hair, so kinda
Oh,
yes.
I know who it is. I know who it is. Is it Charlie Villanueva?
It is not Charlie Villanueva.
Oh my God, yeah, no, the years were off. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
he
man.
didn't have any hair.
I really thought I had that when I was like, yeah, it's got to be him. All right, Jesus, man, this is coming down to my basketball knowledge from 2017, 18.
Mm,
Like who watched the Kings in 17, 18, bro? Oh my God. Okay, power. He's a power forward. Um, played on the Kings. Who was on the Kings? All right, he still plays. Oh my God, bro. I literally cannot. All right. Does this player's name start with the letter N?
No.
Oh my God. That cuts off a lot. Um, does this player's name start with the first three letters of the alphabet, A, B, or C?
No, no, and no.
Do those count as three, or does that
No,
count as one
no,
question?
no, no. That's just counts as one.
All right. Um, Dude, jeez, who does not play anymore? There's no way there's a Kings fan down in the comments either that knows this one, but there's just no way. There's no way.
I mean, this guy wasn't bad, but I don't know.
He wasn't bad. Okay. Man. Bro, let me think. I really, man.
I'll give you a little hint too, since I know I haven't ever said it to you. But I'm a pretty big fan of this guy as well. So even though I've never really mentioned it, but that's like an additional hint. If you can take that as you will.
Man, no, God. All right, so he's on. I'm just trying to think of Kings power forwards in the last like 5 years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the biggest ones that come to mind are oh man, who does come we're gonna be here for like the next 3 hours, man. We're gonna miss all the games 'cause this is let me try and think of another question to ask. Um is this player oh dang, my headphones disconnected. Is this player still affiliated with basketball in any sense?
Like you mean like as an assistant coach or like a GM or something like that?
Like just in general, like he could coach like an AAU team, like he could be a coach at a college, assistant coach, like
Not to my knowledge. I don't think so. No.
um no, yeah, man, nah. Is there a is there a give up button?
You can give up if you want. You're free to give
I
up.
think I think I have to, dude.
You're
I
giving
think I
up.
have to.
You're giving up.
I think I have to. Literally, like I cannot think of a Sacramento Kings power forward.
So,
Like I don't, bro. Who watches the Kings? You know, like
so you're gonna be probably a little
the
disappointed in yourself just because I know you were thinking so much of the Kings, but in reality, his team that he's probably most known for, even though he played
Bulls.
1 year with the Kings, his team he's most known for is the Grizzlies. You probably know who it is now. A former power forward for the Grizzlies,
Just say it, bro.
Zach
Just say
Randolph.
it. On goddamn D or Zebo.
Yeah, that's
He
tough.
literally played his whole career there too, in Memphis.
And then he played 1 year with Sacramento. That's why it was so hard. But yeah. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel he's unknown, you know. Like I feel like he's one of well, he's known clearly. Like any NBA fan knows who that is. But
Mhm.
with the Sacramento Kings, that's where I tricked myself. I should have asked like when you said West. I should have just asked Grizzlies. I should have asked about the Grizzlies because the Grizzlies have had a lot of pretty good big men.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the first two. You got 11 total points. There's one more left. Could be a player, coach, team, something like that. But are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So you can ask away.
Is this thing a player?
No.
Is this a team?
Yes.
Is this team in the Western Conference?
Yes.
Is this team in California?
No.
Denver Nuggets.
No. So you've used 4 right now. It's not bad.
All right, four. Western Conference teams. This one should be easy. I want to guess, but does
You got to use another like question before
yeah,
you guess.
I'm trying to think. Did this team play in the playoffs last year?
No.
Okay. Um, Let me think. 'Cause I want to get this one with the least amount of guesses. Um, didn't play in the playoffs last year. Okay, that rules out a good amount of teams. It's not California, so it can't be the Lakers. Can't be the Kings. I'm just trying to think who did not make the playoffs last year.
You can
Who's pretty chief?
You can guess a team here right now too if you want. Yeah, you still haven't used your guess after this hint. So if you want to guess right now too, you can.
Yeah, this team's in the West. No, yeah. Let me guess. Let me guess the Portland Trailblazers.
It is not the Portland Trailblazers.
Are you serious?
Yes. I don't know.
Oh
is
my
that a?
God.
I'm not counting that as a question. The Are you serious? I wasn't counting.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know, man. You really got me here. This one's definitely gonna help me out. Did this team make any trades in the offseason?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Did this team trade for a guard?
Trade for a guard?
Yeah.
No.
Fuck. All right. So there's 8 teams it can't be, bro. So like,
Actually,
and
there's 10, yeah. Because
oh yeah, it
Lakers and
can't
Kings.
be. It can't be the Clippers. I'm gonna guess this one because you brought them up earlier. Are we thinking the Spurs?
It is the Spurs. Yes.
No, literally, I was like, you brought it up earlier. I was like, it's got to be the Spurs.
Mm-hmm. So that
Nice
gives
stuff.
you 13 points for that. You got 10 on the first one. So overall, you got 23 points. That's not too bad.
Is there a leaderboard yet?
Right now you're in first place of one contestant. So how does it feel to be in first place?
Man, it feels pretty good. I mean, whoever you have on, hopefully they're as good as guessing as I am.
All right. Before we go, though, I want to ask you, this might be something that I'm going to incorporate at the end of the season. Give me, and it could be any player your choice, past, present. Give me one random player that you do like and one random NBA player you don't like.
All right, for the random player I don't like Julius Randle. I don't like Julius Randle. That guy's garbage. One player I do like though is I was gonna do a Timberwolves player, but I feel like I should lay off the Timberwolves players. I like Davion Mitchell from the Kings. I like that guy's game. I love that guy. Hopefully he has a long and great career. I love Davion Mitchell. He's underrated. Nobody talks about him because he's on the Kings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Davion Mitchell. I love that guy.
I like the selections, and I'll take that into account when the day comes for that. But yeah, I think that's basically gonna do it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Any final thoughts from you?
No, man. I just thank you for welcoming me back. I'm gonna be uploading next week around the 24th. I'm gonna, regular season's coming back, so I'm really glad you brought me onto the show. I appreciate it. I had a very good time, and Hopefully, we have a long and great NBA season that's full with a lot of excitement.
And if you want a shortcut to HEENDOO's channel, you can find it in the description below. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and we're out. Peace.
Peace.